Alright, so what I'm gonna showcase now is my Ninja Turtle collection. And what I had to do is the Neca and Super7 Ninja Turtle figures, since they have come around in the last, year or two, I decided that I was gonna have to do some rearranging to make room for everything. So right now, these shelves here that you're looking at, they look pretty bare, but that's because we are waiting for more figures to be added to the collection. So I actually bought a new bookcase to house just my Ninja Turtle figures, and then I actually had to move them out of the main toy room. So my Ninja Turtle collection is actually in my bedroom, because I ran out of room, and I had all my Ninja Turtle stuff on two shelves of one bookcase, and I just knew it was not going to be enough. So at the very top, I've got my the 1/4 scale movie Raphael. Raphael is definitely my favorite Ninja Turtle. So a lot of times, if it's something pretty expensive like these figures, I'll just get the Raphael instead of getting all four. Then I've got Rocksteady and Bebop in their bunny suits, which were the NECA Loot Crate exclusives. And then I've got the comic book collection figures that are in this like little van. And then behind there is the box set, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive box set of the NECA Turtles, which I believe was the first release of the 6-inch NECA Turtles. And then I've got the Kid Robot, Rocksteady, and Bebop back there as well. Alright. So then this next shelf back there, you can see my kind of Splinter display. I also really like Splinter. And I've got the two NECA Splinter movie figures still in their packages back there. And then the rest of this shelf will be for the Super7 Ninja Turtle figures for the good guys. And you can see it looks like Splinter at some point dropped his walking stick, so I'll have to fix that. Then this shelf will be for the villains, and I've got the pinball NECA. It was sort of a loot crate, but it wasn't a loot crate. It was like a pinball themed set. And I've got that shredder here because I just really like that shiny purple and the shiny metal. I used to have the original NECA shredder from the San Diego Comic-Con pack up there. I used to have that one out here, and then when I got this shredder from the pinball set, I just thought he was really cool, and I just decided to kind of switch those out. But you may notice that I've got the NECA Bebop and Rocksteady, and the reason I'm doing that is it's kind of a funny story, but even as a little kid playing with the original vintage Ninja Turtle toys, it always bothered me that Rocksteady and Bebop, the figures did not match what they look like on the cartoon. And I felt kind of a similar way about Shredder, which is why the Super7 Shredder, love Shredder as a character, so I had to have the Super7 Shredder, but I decided just to leave that in the packaging and stick with the NECA version because it's more show accurate. But, yeah, with Rocksteady and Bebop, obviously the NECA figures are more show accurate than the original vintage toys, which means, of course, the Super7 figures will also look like those vintage toys that didn't look like the characters from the cartoon. And I feel like the NECA figures, that these three actually scale really well with the Super7 Turtles. And I feel like the Super7 Rocksteady and Bebop might actually be a little bit too big. So Probably not going to be getting those figures unless I happen to see them somewhere, and if they're, like on sale or something, which I doubt will ever happen. But then it's weird because, like, with Baxter, the Super 7 Baxter, obviously based off of the original vintage toy, looks nothing like how Baxter looked in the cartoon, and yet that never bothered me as a kid. I never had an issue with that. Watched the cartoon, played with the Baxter vintage toy, and never had an issue. It was always just the issue with Rocksteady and Bebop. I don't know why, but that's just how I was as a kid. I did not like the Rocksteady and Bebop action figures because they just didn't look like how they looked on the cartoon, and that always just kind of bugged me. And then there's the Super 7 Foot Soldier. And again, just plenty of room on this shelf because I am waiting. Can't wait to get that Muckman. He looks really, really awesome. I'm really looking forward to more Super 7 figures. I think they're awesome. And then down here is more NECA stuff. So Toka and Razar, I got 2 of those because I just, Secret of the Ooze. I saw the first movie. The first movie I think was definitely geared a little bit more towards a mature audience. Some parts of the first movie as a little kid kind of scared me a little bit. And then Secret of the Ooze was just so much more obviously for kids. And I just absolutely adored that movie when I was younger. So I just had to have 2 of Toka and Razar because they're just so, so cool looking. I mean, these are probably my 2 favorite figures maybe of all time. They're so, so cool. So I've got the Super Shredder back there, and then the Raph and Casey are still in the package. I've got the Loot Crate exclusive figures, so it's the comic book Shredder and the Turtles in Time electrocuted turtle. So I've got those. I would love to put them on display better. I just can't really figure out a great way of displaying them. Probably do some rearranging at some point or another. And then my favorite villains, Leatherhead / Rat King's another one. So I'll probably, just have the NECA and the Super 7 versions of these guys. Because some characters in Ninja Turtles, I just love them so much. It's just, okay, anything, I'll just get anything for them. So definitely Leatherhead and Slash. And then, of course, I had to get Baxter because I had to get Splinter, so I figured, all right, well, I'll have Baxter as well. But I definitely like the Super 7 Baxter better than the NECA Baxter, but he's still pretty cool. But yeah, love that Leatherhead and Slash. They had some pretty bad QC issues. I was able to kind of glue some things back together and kind of get some paint, marks off of them by just kind of wiping them off very carefully, and wasn't too happy about it, but, it is what it is with NECA. I tried to reach out, and they didn't really get back to me about these QC issues, but the figures still look great. I'm still very happy to have them, and I'm glad that I was able to, glue some things back together that were broken off of them. And then here, this is just kind of my random shelf here. I've got some Raphael things kind of here and there, some Raphael keychains, and this little guy has fallen over there, so we'll fix him later. Then these Playmate releases, which, they released these before the whole NECA and Super 7 craze really started, and these were kind of the best we could get at the time. And then I've got what are supposed to be the movie versions. I've got those 4 still in the packaging, because I just kind of liked how they looked in the packaging. And then I've got the Bebop and Rocksteady, and then this is like I can't remember what that Krang was from. It's not a Lego, but it's something sort of kind of like Lego kind of thing. So I just kind of put him in there with the Bebop and Rocksteady because I thought he, kind of fit in well, scaled pretty well. And they're re-releasing these figures yet again. It's probably like the, 6th or 7th time, but they're going to be releasing them in 2 packs, and I am really curious to see what that Shredder is going to look like, because that may be a figure that I'm going to have to add to the collection. I would love if they would make a Splinter. I really wish they were doing like a Shredder Splinter 2-pack in this style, and I would jump on that real quick. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, these figures, I mean, they have their place. They're definitely dated. It took me a really long time to find each turtle that didn't have like kind of weird wonky eyes. So I was kind of searching and searching to get ones that had good eyes, and that wasn't easy. And then this big Raphael, I actually just saw that at a antique store, and it was just kind of laying on a shelf, and I was like, all right, this is kind of weird. But I bought it because it's Raphael. What more can I say? And then this is my vintage set. I've been spending quite a few years rebuilding the vintage collection. I had pretty much every figure from the very, very first release all the way up to, I think, like the 92 figures, the 1992 figures. And, you know, I sold them all a long, long time ago to, you know, pay for college. One of my biggest regrets was getting rid of all my Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. But hey, you know, what can you do? So I've been spending a few years, you know, just I'll go to different toy shows, comic book shops. You know, sometimes I'll spot things on eBay. I've bought a few accessories and stuff from people on Facebook. So this is what I've been able to build back in terms of my vintage collection. There's still definitely a few figures that I need to get, and then there's definitely a lot of accessories. But hey, you know, it's a work in progress. But yeah, so I'm really happy to have these you know, vintage figures back in my collection. I always make sure I'm buying ones that are in really, really good shape. I try to get ones that have accessories if I can. And you know, I just focus on the characters that really kind of were important to me as a kid, or the ones that I really loved playing with as a kid. And I don't feel like I have to get every last single figure, you know, that they made. And of course, some of the figures are really, really hard to find and really expensive. And it's more for me just like getting the figures that I really liked as a child. So, but that is it for the Ninja Turtles. So again, I just took all of my figures that I had and I put them on this one bookcase, and now I'm just waiting for those really awesome Super 7 figures to show up. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like with all 4 turtles, and probably have, you know, Casey Jones over here and Mondo Gecko right there, and this shelf will look really great in about probably another year, and I'll have all those figures to fill it in. Thanks for watching.